how, we just have a minute and a half before, but how do we fix these concepts? How do we help in ensuring that some of our expectations, as you said, some are reasonable, some are unreasonable, some are very high expectations that may not really be something that can be fulfilled, especially in this broken world. And it's not just the men who are broken, but indeed it is the responsibility, and I'm speaking as a man now, feel heavy, you know. Um, I love to say this, and people know my pet peeve. I'm beginning to agree with an entertainer, Chris Rock, who says only women and pets are loved unconditionally. So when it comes down to appreciating our men, it's almost as if on do. So you're only fulfilling our
Yeah,
expectations. So
yeah,
what was a
yeah,
thank you for?
yeah. That's
But
what
if
I was.
we're
That's
talking
what.
about
That's what I'm alluding
celebrating,
to at the beginning. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like you just do what we expect you to do. Like we don't need to recognize. We don't need to give you any significant recognition. But I think the key to that. I mean, I think we know, based on the audience that we're talking to, we know that there is a place for a man connecting with God and recognizing his identity and purpose through God. So that's the foundation of the conversation. I don't think I necessarily need to rehash that or to flesh that out in too much details. On top of that, I think that as men, we have to find a way to support each other. I'm a big advocate of that. You'd probably
yes.
hear me say it multiple times. We have to find a way to create an environment where our brothers, where our brethren can ball and don't feel judged. We
Let me
have to
put
create
stick
a
up in
space.
there when that. Let's
Yeah.
stick up in there. 6 o'clock in the evening here on Love 101. It's the mailbox. You're tuned in to the family station. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison along with Kevin Bailey. Our special guest this evening is Mr. Wendell Lawrence. And we're talking about celebrating men and boys. Join us! But we'll soon come back after this break.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes.
Following the passage of Hurricane Melissa, Jamaicans are urged to take precautions to prevent leptospirosis, a disease spread through contact with water, soil, or food contaminated by the urine of infected animals. Remember, avoid swimming, wading, or playing in floodwaters or any water that may have resulted from flooding. Avoid consuming food that may have been contaminated with floodwater or animal urine. Wear protective clothing and footwear when working or walking in areas that may be contaminated. And visit the nearest health center immediately if you experience fever, chills, muscle pain, or other flu-like symptoms. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6:01 in the evening. You're listening to Love 101.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the mailbox here every Wednesday on 5:30 p.m. Every Wednesday, unless it's a holiday. Courtney and Kevin, and our special guest Wendell. And Wendell, as you continue the conversation, I think just before the break, so we want you to complete your thoughts, and we'll
Yeah,
continue.
sure. Thank you. Thank you. I was saying that I think as men we have to find a way to allow our male friends to feel comfortable and not judged whenever they express emotions that are typically associated with weakness. But really and truly, you have a strong for express some of them emotion. Like for a man cry, it's a different kind of strength to take for cry over a situation, to like let go in a particular way. So I think as men, we have to set the standard in creating that space. to allow our brothers, our fathers, our uncles, like people who are connected, our brethren who connect with us, to be able
How
to.
would that, Wendell? How would do that? Because some people, because you as a man having difficulty, or you're going to create the environment, or is it the woman? Is it the mothers? Is it the parents? Is it the church? Is it the, just I know sometimes we're waiting on each other to create the environment. How do you think we can start? What's your
Sure,
thought? Yeah.
sure. And let me. There are different. There are different. You can do it at a different end of the spectrum. You can do it all the way up to have the big men conference and invite one bag of man, and you can do that. But how about the next time you see a brethren that you have noticed in a particular environment, maybe at school, another parent, or maybe at church, or maybe a co-worker? The next time you say to that brethren, walk on my youth, how about you mean that? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And not just as a greeting. Like literally, instead of like you see the brethren and walk on past and just bum him fist, you have him number in your phone. When you go home later, you just call him and reach out. Something say, I'm just want to check in for you, how you stay. Like, I think if every man you know were to do that to another man 3 times for the week, you'd realize, and I'm talking from experience, this is something that I have done, this is something I consistently do with the males around me. Like, check in, because me know me go through some whole heap of things. I'm gonna love if people check in for me. So me I say, instead of me sit down and wait on somebody to check in for me on a deep level, not just, yo, my youth, what on, but like on a deep level, like, what on, what really are going, or your family, or business, or sex life. Like really, really be like break down this kind of stereotype, like that is nonsensical, and just be real. I think the answer to your question, Kevin, is as individuals, what can I do in my circle to connect with the males around? I mean, we just support each other.
Mm.
Wendell, it's just so great listening to what you're saying. You started out from the point of talking about conferences, and I must say, this year I really missed something that the Bureau of Gender Affairs usually put on the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sports. Every year, at least I know for at least the past 5 years, the Bureau has put on at the Jamaica Pegasus, either on the 17th floor or in the ballroom, where they invite men from all over, and they would honor some pastors, Bishop Delford Davis, a number of men, and they come from Morant Point to Negril Point, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Brigade, just men being present. Last year, if I'm not mistaken, it was the new ambassador to Jamaica, Mr. I'm trying to remember his name right now, but it's not clicking. So if we're able to do as you say, to promote men, and I'm using that word quite advisedly, if we were to pull together and to ensure that we're having more events, not just talk shops, men come together merely, and it sounds bad, but to eat, and then when them eat, then we talk, Yeah. I believe, and that's something that the Bureau does very well, because when you go, you're introduced to a smoothie, tea and coffee, and then you get a little appetizer, and then afterwards,
Yeah, you have to engage with different.
Hey?
You have to engage with different.
I'm just yeah, man, just to talk about it alone make me hungry. But it was good to have men come together. And so my question to you is, the support systems that we have, do we really have support system in place for our men when we're talking about celebrating? How important is that support? You talk about checking in, but support not only, as I mentioned, for mental health issues. I'm a big man. A week make him head take him. How do we give support? How do we break the stigmas of, he's supposed to be one who is just upright in all that he does, total integrity. And if he misses, him can't be a man after God's own heart like David, although David missed so often. We have David as one of our greatest heroes in the Bible, but when you look at that man after God's own heart, he might have a whole heap of mistakes, but he was never belittled. Look at Solomon. How do we give true support apart from just checking in? Are there safe spaces in celebrating our men and making them feel good? You know, should the government just have one big meal party one day?
Yeah, no,
I think like bull session.
I think they are, you know, I don't know if enough is the word, but I think there are a lot. I think they are more available than is being consumed or being used by men currently.
Mhm.
And I think there's like an adoption where some men just feel like, me no need to take advantage. Me no need to go to a mental health specialist. Me no need to take advantage of a free session, an event going on where a bunch of men are connecting. Me good. Most home. You know, if a women's conference are going, like a bunch of women are go. But as men, we're not really excited about certain things. I think it's also related to how it's packaged sometimes. And some of the persons who are packaging these support systems, not all of them understand men, not all of them understand how men operate and so forth. So, you know, it's packaged a particular way. But I think most churches have a men's fellowship, but the men them just not support it. So like the systems are there, like there are several systems, family life, like there are a bunch of systems that are there, but I don't think it resonates with a lot of men. So a lot of men are not supporting it. So getting more systems, yeah, it probably might proportionally increase the amount of men that are impacted. But I think there has to be some kind of sensitization, some kind of messaging to men to take advantage of these systems. Some kind of research into why is it that there's a low adoption rate? Why men just not interested to go to get help? Why we feel like we don't need help? And target at the root there. And because if there's demand, there will be supply. You know. So I think it's a combination on both sides. Like the systems that are there, some of them, but at the same time, there are systems that are helpful, but men just like, no, I'm a good man. I go work it out. I'm good. You know, so I think it's on both sides.
Yes, thanks, Wendell. No, you might a man are listening, you know, from Moran Point to Negril, and him kind of feel lost, him kind of feel stuck, you know, after him give so much, because men, boy, we can give and give and give. And then when we're ready, it's like nobody giving into us, you know, because we're just supposed to give. And might feel abandoned and stuck. What would you say to a man like that him just feel kind of hopeless and helpless and say, it look like I saw the thing set. Is there a purpose for him, and how would you guide him to come out of this unstuck place, Wendell?
Well, there's no shortcut to it. I'm a Christian, so I can only speak to what has worked for me.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you the formula I would suggest to that. You know, of course, I try to connect with that man at a certain level and show some kind of empathy to where I can relate to the situation, and then just point out two things that I've learned. Is a principle called a circle of influence and a circle of concern. A lot of us are stressed out. A lot of us are burdened primarily because we preoccupy our minds with things that we can only be concerned about. We can't, like, it is not like the more you think about it, it is not going to change. And as a result, we neglect the things that we can actually change, the things that we can actually do something about. My thing would be to kind of take a step back and kind of look at the thing that caused you to feel stuck, and say, is this something that I can really do something about? If it is, get some help and try to do something about it. If it is not something you can do something about, I have to let it go. I hear one man say happiness is right where you are minus the expectations. You know, if you can't do nothing about it, if you have to really take a hard look at it, is it in my circle? Is it among the things that I can only be concerned about? Like, for example, if rain or fall, there's nothing me can do about it. Me can do zero about it. But my mindset, the things that I feed my mind with, my attitude, me can do something about that. If I choose to reconnect with God, you know, those are the things. So that would be my encouragement. And the reason why that would be my encouragement is because that is how I have managed to unstuck myself in situations. Not to say I do it by myself, but it's like when I realize that, I really can do something about this, but I need some help, I try to go get the help. Or if I'm too weak for go get the help myself, I'm going to see the help I come, I try to humble myself, destroy the ego, and accept the help.
Wow. Excellent solutions. You know, some men believe that seeking help says that they are weak, and so much have been connoted that seeking help as a man is not a strong position. We have to help to re-educate, reposition, and also help society in also not promulgating such a concept that a weak man is one who seeks help, and it's not put as help. You're not strong enough to manage by yourself. But when we come back from this final break, we want to talk more about just celebrating our men and our boys, and just especially from school, from just being small. You know, so much is expected of our men and boys, and one person says disappointment is unmet expectations. When we come back from this break, it's 6:15 in the evening here at Love 101. I'm Pastor Courtney Morrison, sitting in with my co-host for the past 13 years, Kevin Bailey, and our special guest, Mr. Wendell Lawrence. We'll soon come back.
Yeah. I am a man. Hey man. I am a man. I am a man. I am a man. Yes.
You can see the face, but not the heart. Those who want to do you wrong. So many times.
Bless up. This is Christopher Martin. Human trafficking is a crime. Let's unite to end human trafficking. Be wise, open your eyes. Spot them, stop them, and report them.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
No shadow at the dark. No shadow at the dark.
Sometimes all we need is a listening ear. The listening ear, the counseling, the logical reasoning, and spiritual guidance are what appeal to us. That's why I'm here. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, the counselor, your counselor on Love 101 FM, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. You know you can call on me. I will listen and more. So let's talk about what's bothering you. Anything. Tune in, listen, call in, text or voice message. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, counseling psychologist, ready with a listening ear. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. Right here on the family station, Love 101 FM.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox, aired every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Courtney and Kevin. In the place of our special guest is Wendell Lawrence, and we have been having a very informative, inspiring, empowering, transformational conversation. And here we are. This is the final segment. How do we begin, especially with our boys? You know, you being father, what works for our boys? You know, the testosterone is there. You know, they're normally very active and get into mischief, and so how are we to take nurturing our boys so they feel celebrated, they feel encouraged, they feel empowered, they want to do their best? What have you learned so far, Sir Wendell? Talk to us.
Yeah, all right. So I'm glad you end the question by saying, what have you learned so far? Because you know, I'm not as seasoned as you know, as even though it look like me have a hope of seasoning down here, so it's not on the machine. It's not. I'm not really as seasoned, but what I have learned so far is that as the boys, they thrive when you recognize their effort.
Yes.
Not necessarily, not the result is important, but it's like when you recognize the effort, so like even when you reprimand, like the water spill,
Yeah.
to come in and the water all over the place, but daddy, I was carrying the cup over there, so to do so and so.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to do. So even though I
Right.
made a mess of it,
Yes.
recognize what I was trying to do. No, this is what I was trying to do something good, but I just messed it up. It was a mistake, an accident. And so I find that recognizing the effort goes a far way. The young ones will not do it as steady as the parents will, as the older ones we will. The hands and the thinking is not as steady.
But the truth is, sometimes we mess up as older heads too.
It's true. I mean, it's true. It's so true. But because of the context of the question is that because we have more experience, sometimes we are quick to look at the result that we expect. We expect you to produce a particular result. Right. But I'm saying, in that expectation, how do we support the younger ones? Recognize the effort.
Exactly.
Recognize the effort and celebrate the effort.
But before you continue, isn't it difficult for parents when you want to see the results, when you want to see the grades, when you want to see them make the track team, when you want to see them being the good debater, and you're not seeing it, and you see other children doing it, or you bring yourself not to go right there and attacking that and praise the effort. Talk to our parents here. I just think it's a big thing you're talking
about.
No,
it is, and I've had a lot of thoughts about that. My wife and I have has a lot of talks about that as well.
Yeah.
It comes back to the effort. And if you like, for example, when we see our child, thank God we've been fortunate. My wife is very good with the I know it's a main thing, but she's very good with the homework and that kind of thing. So like we come home and we see the A's and we feel good, and sometimes we see the B's and we work with it. But one of the things that we try our best to practice is whether or not we see the A's, B's, C, or D's. The question is, did you do your best? Is that the best you could have done? And when we hear the answer, yes, then we celebrate that. We are intentional about that. If we see the A come and we say, did you do your best? Do you feel like you could have done better? You feel like it was too easy? You feel like it could have been more challenging? Yeah, we could have. Then we say, all right, so why you never try harder? Because we don't want there to be a focus on the A, because we know this education system, getting an A in the education system and mediocre effort don't mean it going mean anything in life. So it's the answer to your question, in my opinion, Kevin, is something that we have to constantly try as parents and grow into. Yeah. It's not about us. Mm-hmm. It's not about us. The results are good and they mean a lot to us, but will the results help our child to make it through life? It's good effort and the right focus and effort, I believe, is what will carry them.
Wow.
And truth is, we've had our own experiences, and our experiences are there to help us to teach the younger ones, and not necessarily to destroy, but to build.
Maybe him try to run, maybe him put out his best effort to run.
Yeah.
Yes.
And him can't run. So as the parent, you need to say, oh, look like you need to do karate. Or you need to do something else. Like, because you're doing your best effort and it's not producing the result that is comparable to those other persons, then maybe you're putting the effort in the wrong thing.
Yeah. And that sort of guidance is very important, especially for our boys. Again, even our boys need to be appreciated, when they're out there on the play field. You notice, and it hurt my heart for the talk about football, but I'm talk about it still. And even when a young man is playing football, that if he kicks a striker, for example, kicks out the goal, or he misses, or the goalkeeper didn't make a save, it's like everybody want to come down on him. But he's already feeling badly that he has missed the goal, or the goalkeeper has missed the save. How do we help? And that's just a part of life and growing. How do we encourage those who may be missing that mark, but they put out their best effort.
Yeah, no, is the close network, is the close network of those persons, because it's like a hard for you to get up and tell the stadium, no man, him try. That not gonna work. You can't get up and tell the stadium. Tell the close network of the person. You have to, like it really is the niche, it's like the early church, it's like the niche, the small group, like we just have to support the people in our circle. We just have to. I don't see like on the mass level. Like, I'm into events. I've seen events happen. I've seen that happen, but the follow up is lacking. Like a lot of it is just an in the moment thing, and you come in and you do something and you look forward to what happens next year again. But the real work is when you can call a bridge and say, "Ray."
No,
Coach Samoy, sorry. Coach Samoy said something many years ago that I have not forgotten, that I believe would be very helpful to our boys. He said, when the West Indies team was playing Australia at Sabina Park, we sometimes lose the match already in our minds. And if we can get to the mind, to have a mindset that, hey, this is possible, this is achievable, but never let it be said that if it was not achieved, we didn't try. And I've never forgotten that match of the West Indies beating the Australia at the Sabina Park. Because our men, and those against men that were playing cricket, Jamaican men, West Indian men, all the different Indies came together and said it is possible, and made a run chase that today is still being spoken of. So encouragement. And steering, expectation, STERs, culture, and culture, STERs, expectation. In other words, we tend to have expectations of our men, so it steers what direction we look to, and the culture already ingrained also says this is the direction we must look to. We need to reposition and redirect. Okay.
So, question. Yeah, sure, Wendell. I was speaking to a minister recently, and he says, I have to admit, many leaders in the church find it difficult to empower other men because of ego, because two bulls can rule in a one pen. It's easier to lead a woman because they're more compliant and complacent. Yet Jesus had so many men around him and felt secure. How do we get to change that? Because I have a feeling the church has a powerful place to play in empowering our boys to men. Talk to us a little bit about that, Wendell. What do you think?
A loaded question, man. I'm gonna ask the pastor, son. That is true. I believe that that's a thing where it's easier for a D-type person. It's easier for a person who is dominant to lead other persons who are more compliant generally. And so without that leader working on themselves and dealing with their own insecurities, without that leader, for example, being accountable to other leaders who can see the areas that are blind, that they might be blind to. Without that, why sticky? If I go sticky without I think that is crucial. I think that as the leader, we have to kind of do a lot of mirror work. We have to kind of do a lot of work in the mirror, whether that mirror is a psychiatrist, a counselor, a mentor, an accountability partner, but somebody who can turn on the light and say, but bro, you don't realize, say, every time somebody gives a suggestion, you always knock it down and go back to your suggestion. It's a trend that, something, I mean, notice that every time a man make a suggestion, you knock it down and go with what a woman say. What that? Why? And make you kind of reflect on you. But it's somebody who you're accountable to, who can talk to you, who can think that. You notice all of my suggestions them really come back down to that kind of one-on-one relationship.
Yes.
And I just think that's where it is. I just think that's how we as men, we need to connect on that level and check each other. Like no, Courtney, say you should. Me not like I talk to Kevin, you shut him down. And him wife did stand up right there and you just shut him down. Me never like that.
Yeah.
We think we need that, you know?
Yeah.
Listen to these thoughts. As I said, it's also mental health month. Men are taught to be strong, stoic, unbreakable, but nobody teaches them how to heal when they are hurting. Here's the truth. Millions of men are struggling silently with anxiety, depression, loneliness, and the pressure to keep it all together. Statistics show 1 in 4 men experience mental illness each year. 75% of suicides are men. Most never ask for help out of fear of judgment. That source comes from WHO, World Health Organization, 2024 report.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, sir. You have about 30 seconds to give us your final thoughts, sir.
No, well. I just want to probably use that time to celebrate you guys and what you've been doing. I think you just said it was 13 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to celebrate you guys and to tell you thanks for what you've been doing every Wednesday for the men in our nation, creating the forum. Hope more and more men will take advantage of it. Sometimes I listen to me not tell a lie, but I'm glad that the consistent oasis is there. And I just want to celebrate you guys for keeping it steady. I know that it's not easy to be able to do something that consistently for over that number of years. But big up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we're not even perfect men as well. So we say thanks to you, our guest, Mr. Wendell Lawrence, to Jermaine Johnson, our producer, Nikhil Angus, our technical for support. We end the show with this quote: strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's calm. It's the calm presence of a good man. Strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the calm presence of a good man. Happy National Men's Day.
Thank you, Wendell. Big up.
You're welcome.
International Men's Day. Really appreciate the wisdom and the jewels you shared. Big up to you and the family. Big up, Courtney. Appreciate you all these years. And to all the man them from Morning Point to Negril. Have a very great day. That's it for our show this week. Catch you next week, Wednesday, November 26, 2025. Same place, same time inside the mailbox, as we say. Monday.
Take care, guys.
Blessings. Bye.
Happy International Men's Day to all. Blessings.
Yeah.